Welcome to Subramani. Uh, I'm going to talk about interest rates now. Every MBA you meet or a chartered accountant you meet will keep telling you that when interest rates go down, bond prices go up, and when and the reverse would happen. Let me tell you, it is not just that. When interest rates go down, asset prices go up. Let me explain this to you. Suppose the yield that you are getting in a real estate deal is about 4%. Okay, you bought an asset worth 1 crore. I'm not talking of other charges, etc., or all these charges have been deducted, and you're getting 4% rent. Assume for a minute. Then what happens is, when interest rates in the bank are about 7%, there is no great incentive for you to buy that real estate. You say, oh, I'm getting 7% in the bank, or 8% in the bank, or 10% in the bank. Why should I put my money in real estate at 4%? But when interest rates start falling, suppose interest rates in the bank fall from 7% to 4% or 5%. Then you say, oh, let me buy an asset and let me give it on rent. So I will get 4%, or maybe interest rent is gone up, so I'll get 4.15%. And 10 years later, when I sell it, I may get double the price. So I will get that is about 7% per annum return. So I'm getting 4 plus 7, 11, which is much superior to what I'm getting in the bank, right? So let me explain this. What happens is, when interest rate changes, your expectation of return from other asset changes. So suddenly, when interest rates are low, let's say savings bank gives you even less than what you are getting currently, you will say, it's okay, let my money be in equities, I'll get a higher return. I'm getting more than that in terms of dividend plus appreciation. But when the interest rates go up, it is fairly obvious that you will get rid of some other assets and bring the money here. That is the phenomena. So the correct logic to say is, when interest rates go down, asset prices go up, because you're willing to pay a higher price. The same house which you were getting for 1 crore, you may say, okay, I'm willing to pay 1 crore 5 lakhs because I think it will appreciate anyway, so extra 5 lakhs doesn't matter. I'm happy with this 4% yield. I'm happy with 4% yield on 1 crore because my bank is giving me even less, right? So interest expectations and return expectations from assets change. People, when interest rates are at say 4%, people are anticipating they will get higher return on rent, higher return on gold, higher return on equity, and all other asset classes. The one asset class which is very, very clear is bonds, because I know the date of maturity, I know how much money I will get, I know everything. So which is the safest? These central government bonds. So when interest rate changes, the first asset to react is the central government bonds, because I have no other risk. I understand everything. I know I will get the interest on the 30th of June and in December. I know everything perfectly charted out. So that price fluctuates the maximum, or rather that price fluctuates the first, but every asset changes price. So currently we are in a very low interest mechanism, which means we are in negative interest regime. When I say negative interest, it means nominal interest. Nominal interest is the return that you get from that asset class. Let us say it is 7%. It is slightly under 7 for PPF. And PPF is tax free. So let's talk about National Savings Certificate. For a minute, assume that National Savings Certificate is giving you 7%. For a minute, let us also assume that you are in the 20% tax bracket. So 7 minus 1.4, right? 1.4 is lost to tax. So you get 5.6% return. Now assume that inflation in India is about say 7%. So which means the taxation is being lost to you. So you are actually in the negative yield of 1.4%. Negative yield of 1.4% is really hurtful, but you please need to understand that this could be a temporary phenomena. So because of this temporary phenomena, do not make a 20-year change. Do not go and buy real estate hoping that in the next 20 years you will make money. Because if interest rates start going up, real estate prices may start coming down. The reverse could also happen. Right now you feel that interest rates will only go down, therefore asset prices will go up. So therefore you take money from here and you buy real estate, so thinking you will get a 4% yield. What if rents fall down and you get 3% yield, and you find that 3% is what the bank is also giving you, right? So be careful about this. Don't take long-term decisions based on current interest rates. But there is absolutely no denying that interest rates in India are in the negative territory. When I say negative territory, I mean real interest rates are in the negative territory. Real interest rates is equal to nominal interest rates minus taxation minus inflation, right? So that number is negative. That number is negative at least temporarily. I do not know how long. I do not, maybe interest rates will go up, right? So be careful about it. The worst thing to do during weak interest rates or low interest rates is to chase yields, which people do. People call me and say, Subra, this company is coming out with a bond at 10.25%. That's a very attractive yield. Should I do it? This company is coming with 9.98% perpetual bond. Should I invest? I don't know. I don't give advice, right? But during a weak interest rate regime, or during a time when the economy is not doing well, or RBI is artificially, RBI, Fed, all of them are artificially holding down interest rates, is one of the worst times to be chasing yields. But this is the time when all of us chase yields, and to chase that yield we change our asset allocation. We think we have changed our risk profile. We have not. Yes, interest rates are low. That does not mean you should buy other assets which are which are looking more attractive. The worst thing that you can do during such a regime is to chase assets, and because the industry is also waiting to sell you a lemon. Every industrialist is now tempted to put up a big project because interest rates are low. You cannot get a small guy to do this. I cannot get an Ola driver to say interest rates are low, why don't you buy one more taxi? He's going to laugh and say, do you know that मैं दिन में 3 घंटे 4 घंटे चलाता हूँ सर, 17 घंटा का काम है ही नहीं, तो मैं दूसरा एसेट नहीं लूँगा. So a typical guy putting his own money and personal guarantees at stake will be very careful to borrow money. He will borrow money or she will borrow money only when they are convinced that their sales will go up, right? But this is not true for a corporate. Corporate India will be led by a man or a woman with huge ambitions. They will want to do 10,000 crore rupee projects and 40,000 crore rupee projects because it feels nice to say I did a $3 billion project or a $4 billion project, right? They are looking for such stuff and they are being tempted with low interest rates. This is the time when a reckless entrepreneur takes more risk. When I say reckless entrepreneur, I mean an entrepreneur who is in the front, but the people taking the risk are people who banks and people like you and me who are willing to pay a high premium for him. So if his share, if the share of his company or her company is high, let's say the share is at 600 rupees, there's a very good chance they will come at 10 plus 480 rupees or 540 rupees or some such premium, because they know that in a booming market it is easy to raise equity. So they will raise equity and proportionately they will raise debt and take a very high risk project because their threshold level is very less, because they say, oh, money is available to us at 1.5% or 2%. So they will borrow this money and put up such a big project. Now runs the warning for you. Don't chase yields. Don't change your asset allocation to improve your yield. If you're changing, understand the risk that you're taking. Interest rates are low, so asset prices are high. When interest rates go up, asset prices will come down. That asset includes equity. Be very careful. Given conditions like India, how people react to a lower interest rate is very different. So if I have told somebody that you need 5 lakhs of income per year and he has kept his money in 1 crore bank deposit where he or she is getting 5% return, if interest rates fall to 4%, the RBI, which does not understand behavioral finance, assumes that people will withdraw the money and spend it. I am telling you the reverse will happen. This person who has got 1 crore in bank deposit where she was getting 5% return, she will actually sell other assets, bring money into the bank, increase the deposit to 1.5 or 1.25, proportionate enough so that her 5 lakhs does not get interrupted. That is what happens, Mr. Central Banker. People in poor countries protect their income by changing the asset allocation, and this is a sensible thing to do, because when the interest rates go up, the same person may remove money from the bank and buy some other assets. That is what happens. If you assume that when interest rates go down, people will withdraw the money and spend, that is true only for somebody who is very confident of being able to replace that money. So if I am 32, I may react like that, but if I am 62, very good chance that I'll bring more money and keep it in the bank and not actually behave the way the central bank thinks I will behave. Central bank needs a lesson in behavioral finance, but that's not my problem. That is Nirmala Sitharaman's problem. Thank you. Let's enjoy our day. Thanks a lot.